Your everlasting King, your everlasting King, you are everlasting King. In my message today to you, I just want to bring your attention to some of the things that the Lord has placed in my mind to share with you. And I know that so many of you may be wondering what this has to do with you because it doesn't apply to you right now, but it applies to a lot of people in the world and in terms of the next and the future of what the world will look like. So you cannot say it does not affect you right now and it might not make sense to you right now, but in the future you will understand why the Lord is ministering to us in the word that you are hearing today, why you should look in the example that Christ is showing to us. We sang the song, God the Almighty Father, you are one and only. Your name is I Am, Jehovah Yahweh. And we sang and talked about some of the miracles of Christ. When you look in the miracles of Christ, you see an example of what God Himself wants us to be like. In your own ministry, what was the anointing God has given to you? What is your purpose on earth? What did God call you to do? You'll find that far too many people say that God have called them, but God never called them because they called themselves and have placed themselves strategically in a way for them to enrich themselves. Those that have chosen to forsake the path of righteousness and holiness, those that have chosen to implant their own doctrines, those that have chosen to bring their own teaching in order to confuse many, those that have made fortune in the world against the suffering of men, making it look like God has made man and humankind and the human beings for some few people to exploit and prey upon. The rest of the world is made for the few. Some people believe and they have established a world for that and in that manner. But indeed, in a time like this, you begin to see them to show their power, might, and intelligence in solving the problem that is facing the nations of the earth, but yet they fail to show how much short they are and how much unintelligent they are and how much they have no power to do the things that can make and turn things around. When big things happen and you see them trying to prove themselves and possibly challenge God because they wanted to show that they are great too and they are mighty because they sit in all kinds of power in positions in a high power in one company or another, in one nation or another, in one country or another, in one tribe or another, in one state or city or town or village or another, even in their own family. People that put themselves up acting like God, and when it is time for them to show the kind of God they are, you realize they are nothing but the work of a human hand or one that is made by God. The Lord has asked and was calling and is calling you today to reflect upon your life and some of the things that you are doing. Those that sit like a demigod, they're God, some kind of God. Those that have no accountability because nobody holds them accountable here on earth because they are all together in the conspiracy of their criminal enterprise and ways and evil and sinful nature. And they suffer humanity and suffer the society upon which they govern or lead. The Lord cried out about a lack of leadership in the world, waiting and looking for people to provide some kind of leadership that looks like Him, a great and wonderful Father, a loving and merciful Father. But we often find that quite a lot of them are so selfish that the only thing they think about is themselves, self-centered people or group, the human race. You find that we have sometimes a system that punishes people. Leaders of this world, they don't like to complete whatever they started. Those that are looking for the whistle to blow so that they can be able to deploy what they have made. They have thought there are people who are already prepared for the end time. And in fact, I know this might not apply to you, but the system for the end time prophecy is already built. You might have remember the mark of the beast 666, but I'm not going to talk about that today. But we want you to know that as you are here right now, if I look and log into my own app, my online banking app is different from the rest of the world. And why is my own online banking, when you log into the system, is different from that of the world? And I laugh at things like this because many times they think they have cornered and they have chosen that these particular people they don't like, or these particular people they don't like the way they think or the way they believe, and therefore they're supposed to be punished because they are not like them, or because they don't believe the way they believe, or because they have a different ideas, or because they believe in God and the God they believe in is different from the God they believe. Because they worship the God, those that worship our God are often find themselves being separated and being targeted and I laugh because the people of the world has no idea. When you decide to say that someone like me, we have a different app, when you log in into their system, and into the thinking you logging into your own online banking because there are some things that has done. And that's why we talk about those that rely and they pray for the digital economy, the danger to the world, what it will cause. When you have a lot of people that believe that they're going to take their money and you find that they present themselves to be a better manager of somebody's money. And therefore those that God has blessed must bring all their money and hand over to them to manage for them. And then when they